Welcome to a studio down here in Leonberg. My name is Olaf Thies. I'm the BIM project manager for the BIM objects at GEZE. I'm an architect, and so I'm working with BIM for about, let's say, 25 years now. At GEZE, I'm working on the BIM objects for about 10 years. So what's all the fuss about BIM? And how are we thinking about BIM at GEZE? We might start at this point. Planning, in this case, planning of doors. So we like to create, as an architect, as a planner. So we like to create something, and what we miss is often the thing when to start. What is the requirement, the first requirement we have to think about when we are thinking about doors? And on the building side, we realize, well, we forgot to plan some things we had to start with. So there's the problem. There is the thing we started with creating our BIM objects. And the first thing we have to think about is not making mistakes afterwards. The mistakes we are seeing here are done by the user, the builder. So he thinks about, well, something is wrong with my doors and I want to have them another way. But these traps, these mistakes here are sometimes deadly. In the last few years, everybody heard about catastrophes within discotheques and so on. So these pictures we are seeing here are the results of a wrong planning. But where do we have to start? What's the first thing we have to think when we are thinking about BIM, Building Information Modeling? It's not about sketching, it's not about drawing something, it's about requirements. The first thing we have to think about is, when does the information come into my way, into my process of planning? So these are requirements we are thinking about, we should talk about. It's, in this case, let's talk about accessibility and a fireproof door. So two things, well, they do not relate to each other. We are thinking, or maybe thinking, but they are. Well, a fireproof door has to be shut. It needs a spring, a door closer, and so it might be a bit difficult to open this door. But when we're talking about accessibility, we need this door to open very easily. So there are two things that are related to each other, and we have to find a way to get these things done correctly. And these are just the requirements we need by law in England, in Germany, in Poland, everywhere in the world. There is a law that relates these two things together. But then there is another person that is very important for us, and it might be the user. In this case, the user doesn't care about law. He doesn't care about these problems. He's making the doors afterwards the way he wants them to be. So we should talk. We should talk in the first place. We should talk and get the information into our planning. And how can we do this? So there we are. This is BIM. This is the process we are starting from. And it is a new territory for you and for us. We are producing hardware. Let's call it that way. And for this process, planning process, sometimes we needed new products. And we had to care about the customer needs. So the architect needs BIM objects, for example. And therefore, we had to find way and in positioning ourselves in a new way. So these things were the task we had to think about, let's say, around about 10 years or so. We produced BIM objects, and I think we were the first ones to have the idea of not just gluing some BIM objects of our door closes on doors, or creating BIM objects, just the technical things. We were creating doors for the architects. And this way of thinking was thinking the process. It was not thinking about the door hardware, it was thinking about the whole planning process. But when we talk about what is BIM, what is the fuss all about, then we have to understand the very, very simple thing that BIM is all about data. It's all about information. We have here on the left side the thing we are doing right now. We are drawing, we are sketching, we are doing 2D planning. This is, well, normal for me as an architect. And many of us think about BIM as a 3D planning. 3D is, let's call it dumb. There is no data in it. It's not information. And if we think about the word building information modeling, 3D planning is building model. And the information, yeah, where is it? So let's talk about BIM like elements. If you're planning your model, you can put sheets of paper, or Excel sheets, on every element we are planning. Every element, if it's a table, if it's a wall, if it's a column, has got informations on it. And with this small picture in mind, BIM is very simple. Because in a way, the model we are creating as an architect is packed with information. And we, you and we are the persons in charge who fill in this information. Therefore, we are creating processes. We have, of course, now we have doors for you, we have the hardware. Here is an example. We have created doors for the ArchiCAD program, the CAD program called ArchiCAD. So this is our way of thinking in BIM. But it's not just creating nice pictures, it's thinking about the whole process. On the left side here we can see how people think about the importance of BIM. And as you can see, BIM is on top. And on the right side you see a swim lane diagram. It may look complicated, but it isn't. If you have in mind that in every swim lane there is one team player, and one team player has to communicate with another team player on a certain amount of time and has to decide something. So this is just a picture of the process that is completely normal for us as an architect. So this swim lane diagram is just a guideline for us to keep in mind. Well, yes, I have to go to the architect and ask him this question. We have to decide now, because if we do not decide these things now, we will lose time on the building side. So when we keep in mind that there is information inside our BIM model, then we might realize that it's quite easy for us to make the mistakes in the computer and not on the building side. And the actual use for these things might be in such things as a cave. As you can see here are some of my colleagues with me standing in a cave at the RWTH Aachen. This is my university. I'm a lecturer in Germany. So what's the reason for this cave? It is a complete other thing than these VR goggles you might know. In these caves, well, you can compare it to the holodecks at Star Trek Enterprise. In these caves, you are standing, you are feeling yourself, and you can make decisions. Decisions about designing, decisions about, well, look at this, there are some pipes going through walls without making a hole in it in the first place. So this is a mistake, and you make the mistake in the computer and not on the building site. You can design, you can swap things, you can, well, in this case, you can just eliminate these doors or walls and look through them. This is a very useful tool, but, well, I'd say, okay, it's an expensive tool, but if you get the chance, please use it and go into such a cave. But what's all about now planning doors? The door is complicated. Doors are sometimes things where many of requirements come together. So for us it was quite hard to find a way to get all the information inside one door. It's these things we are talking about. Is it complicated when we talk about cable plans, for example? Here we have an example of a door. Well, let's put it into a hospital, for example. Here we have the burglar alarm, fire alarm. Maybe it is an escape route. You have got a fireproof door, locking, and so on and so on. All these things are coming together on one door. And it's not just GEZE products. It may be some locks from another manufacturer, and all these things must work together in a way that works. So now, if you are too late in planning these things, maybe some cables are missing. Maybe some cables are on the wrong place. Maybe, well, you know what I'm talking about. But with BIM, you're asking the correct questions and you ask them beforehand. It's not about thinking about it on the building site. You make the mistakes in the computer. So planning with BIM was a big task for us, and we were thinking, how is it possible for us to get data, the correct data, from our, well, instructions or certificates and so on, and how are we able to get them to you or to get them into the BIM model, into the BIM objects we provide to you. So we thought about what's the application thinking about. And you may know the magical IFC format, but the IFC format, it's not rocket science. Like I told you, if it's quite simple, it's just information put on the element. And here in these IFC data, it's the industrial foundation class. You can see on the left side what's inside it. You have an element, and on this element, in this case it's the IFC door, you have a property set. And the property set is not defined by IFC, it is defined by your person. You are the person in charge. Well, of course there are some standards in this IFC element, but you are the person who's in charge to get your information on this element. And on the right side, you see our BIM object of a sliding door, of an automatic sliding door. And we have put all parameters that are possible in our object. And of course, you won't have to fill in all these 200 plus parameters on this door. But if you're planning a kindergarten, well, hopefully you don't need the radiation protection against rays, but you may be needing other information than planning a hospital. So you are able to filter these information. You might need, well, let's say roughly about 100 parameters put into these BIM objects, and you can filter them hospital, kindergarten. Well, with this in mind, now we have BIM objects and we have the parameters on this door, and you are the person in charge to filter them. You say, well, I need 60 parameters or 70, it depends on you. But we are able to help you. We are able to create these planning processes with you. Here I have an example of just 2 walls, and if you create an IFC data, let's compare it with a PDF file. It's not made for changing it, but it is like a PDF file that is not with many meta information, and it is not made for changing it. So this is a great tool if you look closer into these IFC files. If you have an IFC file, you might create one of a very, very simple thing, fill it with some information, and then have a look at it in a text editor. You will find all the parameters, you will find all the informations you have put into it. You will find it in a very, very strict and regulated way, and you will find all your information you have yourself put into it. Here you can see, well, these walls, they were called Project BIM GEZE 01, and we have a fire rating properties set in this wall as well. So all the information we put into this object, they are there. It's just for you to read them and to work with them properly. So now we have an idea. What's the IFC? What's the BIM object, the BIM door? And maybe you get an idea of working with this. I'm at the VDI and in Germany, and we are creating guidelines for this BIM project or BIM process in door planning. So what you can see here is a swim lane diagram of just planning doors. Every swim lane, team member, architect, BIM manager, and so on and so on. And we as the producer are in there as well. So this swim lane diagram shows you when to talk with another team member. Where are the decisions made? When do we have to make them? And this thing here is not about LOD. You might know this word, level of development or level of detail. It's not about a standard, it's just a guideline. It's just about level of information needed. So you decide what parameters are inside this BIM objects and when to talk to the other team member. But we have a guideline for you that may give you an idea when it is correct to talk to each other. So, what can we provide now to get all these processes done properly? We provide you with BIM objects, with doors, and we have made them very simple. It's not that the 3D is complicated so that maybe in Revit it will destroy your BIM object. It's very small, but it shows you how a door works. It shows you the information inside. It shows you about, well, 200 plus parameters, and we have some favorites, families, libraries for you made already to your use. And maybe you need Korean doors. So just ask us we are working at this very moment on a project to create very easily your door. We can create a channel for you to have your doors that have your parameters, your language put inside these door libraries for you. So just ask us, and the next thing we can do for you is we are able to create, of course, these pretty pictures. Yes, these are very nicely put 3D objects, but we can do more for you. For the last 4 years, we have made door plannings. Well, it's more than just creating tender texts or drawings. It is a complete door planning. In this case, we created a door description, door schedules. We created some cable plans. And this is a door you can really produce and get on the building site. So with this way of thinking BIM, we are not just standing with BIM objects and we give the BIM objects to you or to the architect, and it is way more. We can help you with planning your doors. We can help you not just by creating these tender texts or nice pictures. This is a thing we help you to stop making mistakes. These mistakes are in BIM possible to find in your computer. So this is a picture you might know. This is Navisworks or Solibri. So these pictures show you, well, there's something in 3D, there is something wrong here with these pipes. There is a conflict. We are able to check parameters against each other. So it's not just about 3D planning. It's about working together, to be in exchange, to really work with you, we as a hardware producer, and with you as the planner, as, well, whatever you are. BIM is a tool. BIM is a process. It's the possibility for us to keep in touch. And please use it this way, and please ask us way earlier than you did before, because in this case we can broaden your horizon, your planning horizon, and keep you from doing mistakes. So this is all about BIM. This is the way we think about BIM. This is the way GEZE talks about BIM. It's for us just a process. The BIM objects, well, they look nice, but it's all about data, and it's all about starting earlier in this planning process. So with this, I really thank you for your audience, and I'd say keep in touch. Thank you for joining us today, and see you in person the next time we will meet. I hope that all this is possible in the near future. So have a nice day and keep in touch with GEZE. Thank you.